This is The Breakfast Stable.
Good morning and welcome to The Breakfast Stable. My name's Jack Muller and it's great to be with you again on a Sunday morning. And as always, with me are my gorgeous, thawed out stablemates who are coming out of cryo state, as we all are. Pete Hilke, good morning.
Good morning, Jack. Good morning, ladies. How are you all?
Yeah, very
good. Morning. Good morning.
We love life.
We do indeed, especially now. And Catherine Savazio, good morning to you too, looking gorgeous in green.
Thank you. I matched my eyes today.
Indeed.
I've had a great week, great couple of weeks. We've been off air for a couple of weeks. So, yeah, yes. I had a really great time. It's great to be getting back to normal, some sort of sense of normality anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And Helen, good morning to you too, honey. How are you going? Love the hairdo this morning. That's not fair. How did you get that? Did you sneak your hairdresser in through the back door?
No, hot rollers, guys. I'm telling you,
nice.
I've been using them since the 80s.
I've got a great photo of you and I with rollers in our hair, Helen, from a number of years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just really excited for Melbourne in particular. On Monday we're allowed 20 people in restaurants, so past 2 weeks have been crazy, getting media releases out and helping all these restaurants open up again and having people over at our houses for dinner.
I know.
Yeah. And here's to all the beauty business girls who have been closed for 6 weeks. Yeah. Who are also reopening next week. Amazing. I think you're going to see a lot more full lips and wrinkle-free brows in the next couple of weeks.
The
Botox is coming back.
Yeah.
And fillers, like the big blowfish lips.
Yeah. And anyone will sort of find that they can throw their hats away now because, they're going to be able to show their roots again. So, we're going to have a lot.
They're on a little plasters underneath when they've had the injections.
No, there's going to be a lot of happy people around in the next week or so. Everyone's going to start to feel a little bit more like themselves, which is great. Yeah. So, but obviously, one thing I've discovered, however, was we've all been talking about. This is going to lead into your little chat in a sec, Catherine, about putting on weight and people not being able to keep in shape. One of the casualties of all this, like we can all recognise for ourselves when we think we've put on a couple of kgs here or there. But I think one of the unsung casualties of all of this is the family pet, because everybody has been home, and when you live with 20 people, as I do, the dog gets fed treats morning, noon, night, and every other snack time. Because everyone's eating at home constantly, she just follows everybody around the house, snacking on bits of leftover toasted sandwich and ham out of a bun and all that. Well, I took her to the vet this morning. And she's whacked on the weight. Like the vet's come out and said, look, she's a little bit heavier than what we would like. And I feel like saying, well, so is half of Melbourne right now, or half the planet. Actually, it's surprising that Earth isn't kind of just slowly sinking a little bit in the universe somewhere out of the galaxy by the extra weight that's currently being carried by everyone sort of blowing up. So poor old Millie is a bit of a casualty, so she's got to go on a bit of a diet now, and so we've been put everyone on high alert. No more in between meals snacking to get her to do tricks, rolling over, all the things.
What were you giving her?
Well, the kids have been trying to video her doing stuff. They've started their own reality show of our family. God help us, it's never going to be posted. But the dog's been cajoled into doing all these things. And, of course, the kids are treating her left, right and centre, which she loves, thinks is fantastic. But the dog is now, chumpy chops. So we've got to sort of like put the dog on a diet. So get your pets checked out, everybody, and start to wean them off the treats.
Well, our dog's good. Our dog has not put any weight on. He's actually done well because we have eaten more fish. There you go.
You don't have an extra 10 people in your apartment.
But I like how your numbers, Jack, go. They've gone from 8 to 10 to 20. Next week it's going to be 145.
I just can't keep track of them all. I'm just saying. Like, I just walk out. I just follow. So anyway, we've got to look after our pets and make sure they're healthy, and obviously ourselves too. So, which I think, Catherine, you're like me. You're a bit of a health nut, and you've sort of been conscious of all of that the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. Look, all in moderation. I guess I'm a not pedantic about it, but certainly try and live a healthy lifestyle and eat healthy food and whatnot. And I think a lot of people have been putting on that little bit of weight in the last month or two, and that's okay, I think. But one thing is that you can actually get active to go out, or it's wet, or you can't be bothered. You can easily do just a 5 or 10 minute workout at home. So for me personally, I think if you've got a trim tummy, if you've got your abdominals really nice and strong, it's a great support for your back. And Helen, you would know this.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
I know.
So lots of walking and that sort of thing. But at home, you can actually do sit-ups by putting your feet up on the bed, for example. So your body's at an angle. It doesn't put too much pressure on your head and neck. And you can start off with 20 or 50, whatever you're capable of doing, and just work it up slowly to say 100 sit-ups a day. And it really does help to tighten your abdominal area. And that leads to the support in your back and helps you to carry yourself stronger and more fitter and more upright, which is great for your posture. Also dumbbells. If you've got a couple of dumbbells at home, I know that weights and things are hard to get at the moment, but why not get a couple of 100-gram cans of whatever you've got in the cupboard, or 1 litre bottles of wine, and do some bicep.
A flagon will do it. A flagon.
Drink. Bicep curl, have a drink. And then you can do your tricep. So it's not that difficult, is what I'm saying. Just have a look around the house, and if you just start off with like 10 reps or 10 repeats of each exercise, and you do say 3 or 4 grouped together, so your stomach, your arms, and maybe some kicks, some lunges, then you can at least try and get your tone back while we're in isolation, and then you feel good as well, because obviously it creates those wonderful hormones. And if you want some inspiration, I love, there's a Victorian government initiative called This Girl Can. And if you go onto thisgirlcan.com.au, there's everything on there, from 10-minute chair or desk workouts to virtual runs. In fact, there's one on today, Sunday. You can still sign up for that and do that virtual walk run. There's virtual ballet classes. There's yoga on Zoom. So there's no excuse. That's right.
Did you hear that, Pete? You've got to go. What's the name of it again, Catherine?
Thisgirlcan.com.au. And this boy can as well.
Yeah, I was going to say. There you go, Pete. This girl can.
There we go. I'll tell you what. Now, I've got a question for everybody that is listening to this show. Who are you really looking forward to seeing next week? And I'm talking about restaurants.
Restaurants.
And I really love to know who is a restaurant. What is the chef? Do you know the chef's name of your restaurant that you want to go and see next week? Because I think it's vital and it's a lot of fun.
I know. Can I answer this question? I'm good at this.
Okay.
I've got our restaurant booking for next Saturday night already done and dusted. As soon as I knew they were opening, I wanted to get in. And I will give them a plug because they are fantastic. And that's Bayer Divino in Sandringham. Amazing modern Italian restaurant. They also have a sister restaurant in Reserva, which I used to. And they have the most amazing beetroot ravioli that they do, which is actually not pasta. It's really thinly shaved beetroot that's been pickled, and then inside it has goat's cheese and chives and done with roasted walnuts and burnt butter. It is like, I start salivating, and I have missed that so much.
Well, look, I think one of the big things next week, look, they open up. I spoke to a couple of chefs. Obviously, I've been down at Clams for the last 4 weeks. Over 5 weeks, they've actually given away over 4,000 boxes of seafood, which has been phenomenal. The most amazing part about it, a lot of the chefs coming through, they're all going to be changing restaurants. So I'm really curious, when anyone that's listening to this show, you go out, come back, send us a message. I want to know, what was your favourite part of the week that you just really went, wow, that's amazing. That's it from me.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be great. I think everyone's senses are going to be sort of brought to the fore again, knowing that we can actually start to go back out and visit our favourite places and re-engage with people again in a really different way. So it is literally coming out of, cryo state. And speaking of coming out of cryo state and becoming a lot more involved in what's going on, Helen?
Yes, we've got a visitor coming on today, a guest on the show. So bear with us and I'm going to grab her and bring her on. Well, hello, we have Melinda Sullivan, who was born and raised in Melbourne and started a career in fashion from a pattern maker and designer, or for the design team at Garfunkel in her 20s, to coordinating the Megamart projects for Myer and setting up in-house point-of-sale systems. She worked directly with designers, fabric consultants and manufacturers that gave her an insight into the fashion industry hands-on. She's written for other publications such as Miro d'Or and worked on projects for VAMF, which is Virgin Australia Melbourne Fashion Festival. Melbourne My Style is Melinda's publication, and it was an inspiration which stemmed from working at the Fashion Festival. And Melinda, I mean, you've covered so many events both in Melbourne and Sydney and worked on so many fashion shoots. And last year covered Milan Fashion Week and brought your team with you. And today your publication is still extremely popular, but you had to quickly make changes to adapt to COVID-19. Please welcome Melinda Sullivan. So please.
Hi, everyone.
Yay. So what are you doing today? I mean, you can't cover events. So what have you done that's keeping our...
We can't cover events, we can't cover shows, and we can't go to restaurants. So I quickly thought, how am I going to keep the publication going? How am I going to make it interesting still to our readers? Because we have about 600,000 readers. So what I thought is to support the community and industries of Melbourne, I will go into interviewing some of the directors and people behind the business as a way of supporting them and also seeing how they've made changes for their businesses to keep going. Such as restaurants, you know, doing takeaways, Uber Eats, such as designers. Some of the designers have been making the personal protective equipment for the frontline workers, like Nobody Denim, Jida the Label doing the masks, Aroma Baby also doing some of the masks, and just seeing how industries are supporting one another as well. So I've been doing a lot of interviews, a lot of up close and personals with people behind their brands and organisations.
They've been so good, you know, and obviously you're able to tell their story and, you know, give people an insight to their history and, you know, and how they've developed over the years with gorgeous imagery and everything. So well done. I think that's incredible. But I know that each of us have got more things to ask you. I'm dying to hear about these new fashion shoots and shoots that you're going to be doing now that industries are sort of coming out a little and we're feeling a lot better and more positive in Australia and as a whole.
Okay.
Well, Melinda, I'm actually, you know, really admiring what you've been doing. As a businesswoman, I know how hard it is to stay on point and stay on brand, which is really, really critical to your image, and also be able to diversify what you're offering. So I'm really, really a big fan of what you've done and how you've managed by highlighting some of the great work of the people behind the scenes. Well done. I've loved that.
Thank you. Thank you. So even with yourself, Catherine, your company donated some beautiful masks, reversible, washable masks.
Yeah.
And I have an affiliation. I do work in the intensive care unit at Cabrini, just 10 hours a week. That's a whole nother story. But I took the masks in and then everyone's like, who's Aroma Baby? What does Aroma Baby do? We get your website up. And I mean, these people are all still working. So they do have money to spend on product, and it's about introducing each other as well. And that's, you know, to support each other.
And it's paying it forward. It's you know, sharing goodwill, and it all comes back. It all comes full circle. So, yeah, it's been wonderful, I think, watching what you're doing.
And you've been doing a lot of the charitable work as well with other businesses as well, like Glazed Gluten Free, you know, into Cabrini Hospital, because you've got that, you know, obviously foot in the door there, which is where you work. And, you know, and it's just so lovely to see you supporting so many industries, whether it's food related or fashion related, beauty related, which is amazing. So where to from here? So you did say that you were going to do some shoots with certain businesses. So how, I mean, you know, how is that, you know, how's that happening, and how you know, with all this social distancing and people not having a lot of money to spend, do you find fashion brands are, you know, lowering the cost of manufacturing, or somehow they can maybe making less product or more product in order to keep their prices down so people can afford?
Yeah, I think they're going to make less product, Helen, in the short term. But I think from a few of them that I've spoken to, they're also adapting their designs. So we're going to look at more loungewear, more tracksuit type style.
I can see that being a big hit.
Lucky Joes everywhere.
I was talking to Effie Katz the other day. I've interviewed her, so that's coming. So
I love her.
Yeah, she's got a lot of casual wear with her Bays brand, which is fabulous. And then she's also got Effie Katz, which is bespoke. But, you know, people are still going to be online like us now. They're still going to need a beautiful blazer. And it's going to be more about quality and having sustainable fabrics and products.
What a great reason to be, you know, pivoting, you know, being more sustainable in fashion.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Hey, Melinda.
So,
where do you see the fashion industry in the next 12 months with everything that's gone on? Because I'm really curious.
Well, look, it's going to be really, really difficult to survive, Pete, to be honest, in the fashion industry. We are going to see, and a lot of brands are not going to make it through these tough times. So I just think we really need to support, first of all, our Melbourne designers, our Australian designers. It is hard for them to manufacture in Australia because of the cost. But even if it is made overseas in China, the money does come back into Australia eventually. So with what I'm doing, even taking some of the fashion brands into like the frontline workers at the hospital, I'm saying, guys, you need a new suit. Buy it from these Melbourne designers, and really just showing them that there are people still supporting them, and really we want to just buy Australian, support them and help get them through as many as we can. It's really important.
I mean, I think the thing that will help that is obviously once people are allowed to go out again and go to events again, which is why I think, you know, what will be really important is, say, the Spring Carnival, and that still being able to play out later in the year, because obviously there's a whole host of fashion as its own character within that carnival, and the designers, you know, rely so much on celebrities wearing their outfits to promote their brand, you know, just sales, people going out and buying, you know, hats, gloves, you know, shoes, dresses, handbags, the whole thing, fascinators for that carnival. So, you know, the sooner that we can get the events up and running, obviously, is great from an event perspective, but it also does support the fashion industry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think also, you know, around June 22nd, we're going to allow 50 people at a venue space. And I think we're slowly going to dribble the events from there. I know that I will be working on things around that date. You know, getting presenters, hosts, they all need to wear clothing and look good. Beauty,
thank God for that.
hair and makeup artists, jewelry designers, all of that sort of stuff. So it is coming. And we've been so good, and I'm really very optimistic about keeping businesses thriving through these challenging times. And with Mel and your publication being able to put everyone out there and help support everyone from event world to, you know, the restaurant and cafe and just the coffee maker, you know, you do an amazing job. So thank you so much, Mel, for coming on.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mel.
It's been lovely to have you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Breakfast Table this Sunday morning. It was great to have Melinda with us today, and we'd love to hear about what you've been doing during the week as we all come out of isolation and start to visit all of our favourite places. So have a great Sunday. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and share that, and we will see you again next week. See you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.